So as I had stated in a previous video, we have the suspension sent out for the 125 to JBI in Cali, and he is going to be putting my spec shims and suspension setup and then coating it. So this is the current state of the 125, but we're going to go ahead and do a couple things on it. So I do have this Turner brake pedal, comes with a blue tip. I personally am not going to be doing anything blue on the bike, I don't think. So we're going to actually take this off and replace it with a black tip. Are always different ways to do things, no matter what you're doing. So just because I do it a certain way or my husband does it a certain way doesn't mean obviously that's the only way to do it. And I am going to just put this on the standard setting here. Because if you look, this is an adjustable brake pedal, so you can put the tip on the farthest setting. You can bring it back in to be a little bit shorter, but I'm just going to put it in the middle, and that's what it's going to look like once it's finalized. Also, because this is not something you probably want falling off while you're riding, I'm going to put a tiny little dab of Loctite on the bolt. And obviously with Loctite, a little bit goes a long way. So you don't need to get crazy with it. And snug it down. Cool. So we took the blue off, put the black on. So with this, you're going to want to get your Allen key and get the main undone. There is a cotter pin back behind here. Awesome. So you're gonna make sure you get that off. Then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and get the other cotter pin up. All right, so just straighten that out best we can. Cool. Don't lose your washer. Now you can finish removing this. One of the things that I do like about the Turner is it is going to be a little bit thicker. It's billet, just has a good look to it. It's obviously black, which I'm a fan of, and it just overall is a little more aggressive than the stock option. So now we can work on getting this back together. This pin goes in through the back, which it is a little tricky to get in there. There we go. And then washer first, then the cotter pin back in. And then we're just gonna bend that. All right, cool. So we have a bend in the cotter pin now. So now what we'll do is we'll hook up that spring. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, spring is in place. And we'll get this snugged in. You do want to make sure this is snug. And then lastly, we will go ahead and put this pin back in behind. pin is in, so that is good. And now we have a functioning, upgraded rear brake pedal. So another really easy cosmetic upgrade would be changing out the kickstart. Obviously, this one comes in that aluminum stock color. We're going to swap it out to a black Turner kickstart. So to remove this kickstart, you're just going to take the main bolt out. There we go. And careful, because there is a washer on there. We're going to take that off carefully. It is splined. And then carefully put on this kickstart and thread your bolt back in. I remember one of the most heartbreaking moments of me. I was at Southwick doing a regional qualifier to go to Loretta's, and I was on 125. The women's class was absolutely stacked, and I was one of the only ones on a 125 still. And I was running third, and I tipped over in a corner, could have got up and had plenty of time to finish the last lap. Probably wouldn't have gotten past, but was in a qualifying spot. And I'm on 125, so I picked my bike up at the bottom of this huge hill, and the kickstart was gone. It had completely fallen off, so I'm gonna, in this moment, give a little extra on this one. And I ended up having to push my bike up the sand hill that I was at the base of to bump start it down, and by the time I did, I think I got like 28th. It was heartbreaking for me. So that is one thing I will always make sure is snug on this bike is the kickstart. So that is what the upgraded black Turner kickstart looks like versus the stock one. It is literally a replica. It's just black and prettier in my opinion. So really easy, simple swap to just add a little bit more character to the bike.